Are there some right here in the hall, clerk?
No, Molly, not in there. I have enough.
Well, hello and welcome to Fibber's Closet. Before you is a 1946 thereabouts Stewart-Warner radio. I got this cabinet 20 years ago or so. Haven't touched it. It was a beautiful cabinet. It did not have a radio inside of it at the time I got it. But I needed a side table for my bedroom at that point, and this fit the bill perfectly. As I said, it's a Stewart-Warner, around mid-40s, 1946, 45, 47. It has a radio in it now because I found out that the Stewart-Warner radios actually, for this series of radios, this series of C, D, E, and F style, 9001 C, D, E, and F, all use the same chassis. And so I managed to lay hands on a chassis for a different radio. And I'll show you the difference between the radios right now. This is the Stewart-Warner 9001 Model C, obviously a tabletop model. The D is a stand-up model, is the one I have the cabinet for. The E is also a stand-up model, but on like a pedestal, with a bit wider cabinet. And finally the Stewart-Warner 9001F, the radio I managed to find was a 9001F, shipped to me by someone who clearly didn't know how to pack a radio. It's a wonder it arrived in one piece, I must say. The front panel of the radio was shattered. I'll show you that in a bit. But fortunately, the electronics weren't too badly beaten up. The dial indicator, the big wheel that the string runs over, was bent pretty badly, but otherwise the chassis survived, and that was a very good thing. So here we are taking the back off of it. It's a All-American Standard 5 as far as I can tell. Pretty vanilla radio. With 5 presets. It does have on the back, interestingly enough, a phono input, which I didn't even test when I was restoring the radio. I wanted to get the radio working, and the rest kind of didn't matter to me at this point. There's a few more things that needs to be done, and I'll take a look at the FM input when I get to those. So there's the F inside the D cabinet. The only problem with the chassis, well, I replaced all the paper caps and the electrolytics as a matter of course. Tested tubes found one bad tube. The biggest problem though was discovering that the audio transformer is open, and it took me a couple of months to find a new audio transformer that would work in this instance, but I got that replaced, and now the audio portion of the radio sounds fine. As I said, when the donor chassis and its cabinet was sent to me, it wasn't properly packed, and the chassis was floating around inside the cabinet, and tore the heck out of the front panel, delaminated it. There was only one screw holding the chassis down to the base plate, and that just tore everything up. So for that reason, plus the fact that the donor cabinet was a slightly different size than the cabinet I had on hand, I needed to make a new faceplate. So there's the old one, and there's the new one coming in on top, or behind it, on top of it. And it's about a ½ an inch taller, same width, but about a ½ an inch taller, made out of some mahogany, of course. My coloring was a little redder than the original, but I didn't mind that. That was okay. It looks good in the cabinet. The biggest problem that I ran into in replacing the front panel was the lettering. The original cabinet had this nice gold lettering screen printed on it, held up pretty well over the eons, but my replacement didn't have anything like that, so I was stuck with what to do. And what I ended up doing was printing a pattern of wood on some white backed water slip decal material, and then printing the words over the top of that. It's not a perfect solution by any means. I tried the clear transparent water slide decal, and as you can see in the lower left corner there, that did nothing. It just put a piece of plastic on the front panel. So printing the wood grain panel on, or the wood grain pattern on the water slide decal works to an extent. As you can see here, the lettering pops out nicely, and it doesn't even the print doesn't even blend in too badly with the wood, but there's a white outline around each one, and I haven't taken the time to try to solve that one yet. So not a perfect solution. Nothing is. The other thing you'll notice are two missing buttons. I took one and modeled it, and then had it 3D printed. It came out okay. It's no great shakes. I'm casting a couple now in epoxy. Those should look better, I think, than the printed one. A couple of coats of toning lacquer and the 3D printed one look pretty good. So here's where the radio is right now. The cabinet still looks good. Open the front door, and there's a radio with a new front panel and some lettering to indicate what buttons do what. It works pretty well. The AM transmitter that I use with splatters all over the band, so there's a lot of interference as you're tuning it in. But yeah, it still works, and I'm happy for that. It's got a little bit more work to do, and I'll get to that when I get to that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Together. But that's a good place to start. You want me to go with you, dear?
Absolutely. You got me this job, didn't you?
Yes.
That's why I want you along. You had faith in me, and you're too young to have your faith lifted.